All right, guys, so I just wanted to discuss some of the various recent events on social media. What's been happening? We've got the whole Tucker Carlson thing going on, and we've got an offer for Tucker Carlson from a podcast YouTube channel. They want to give him $100 million over 5 years. That is an offer for Tucker Carlson. Now, guys, the whole Tucker situation, super weird. Like, what is going on with that? He supposedly gets fired, or they mutually agree that he leaves Fox News. Now, when the news first came out, my initial instinct was, oh, he must have just left. There's no way Fox News would fire Tucker Carlson. Media networks are obsessed with ratings. He's number one by far. But then they're like, no, they wanted him out. And all the stuff that's coming out, like all the clips of him, none of it is bad at all. Like, I was doing my workout this morning. I saw on one of the TVs, MSNBC was like, oh, I couldn't hear it because there was no audio. But MSNBC was like, oh, Tucker Carlson said something about, and it was just like, it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. Like, you're not going to fire Tucker Carlson, who brings you millions of dollars over that. So I don't think we're getting the full story on Tucker Carlson. For sure, there's going to be more coming out, but I actually think 5 years for $100 million is a kind of a lowball offer. Maybe it's a negotiation tactic, but if you look at Joe Rogan, I believe he got 3 years, $100 million from Spotify, which is like $33 million per year, and that was before the crazy inflation. I think if Rogan got a deal today, it would probably be around $50 million per year. So, is Tucker Carlson worth that? I don't know, but I'm sure Rumble is going to throw a ton of money at him. I know Rumble wanted to get Rogan really bad when Spotify almost kicked him off because of the whole pandemic situation and things like that. But yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with Tucker Carlson, but I think that whole situation is kind of weird. Bernie Sanders calls for income over $1 billion to be taxed at 100%. So that's a 100% tax rate if you try and become a billionaire. People can make it on $999 million. The Vermont senator has long argued that billionaires should not exist. So obviously this is Bernie's point, and a lot of people have adopted this point on the left. And of course, when it comes to most of these people, we know exactly why they don't want billionaires to exist. I'm not saying billionaires are these great people, but certainly the exact thing that they feared, which was an Elon Musk situation, happened to them, to where they had total control over all of the information on the internet. Twitter was left-leaning, YouTube is left-leaning, Google is left-leaning, Instagram is left-leaning, everything was left-leaning, and they could definitely do certain things and pull certain tactics to change the narrative when it comes to online discourse in America. And Elon Musk says, listen, I've got $44 billion. I really don't give a shit. I'm going to buy Twitter because I want to change things. He does exactly that. And if there were no billionaires, we would be stuck in the exact same situation with these extremely biased social media platforms. And I actually think, Twitter being freed is great. It's unbelievable. But YouTube and especially Google is going to be a bigger issue within the coming years. I think they're going to get even more bias because Twitter is kind of free now. They're going to really ramp it up. And, this is Bernie Sanders, the whole socialist thing, whatever. But it's a bigger point to where their exact number one fear, which is having a single person be almost more powerful than the government, came true when Elon Musk completely changed things and the way information is being brought to people. It totally changes everything when you've got someone like Elon Musk as the lead person at a platform like Twitter rather than their skeleton crew, which we've seen the Democrats do this a lot, where it's like you don't even know who's in charge. It's the same thing with Joe Biden, and I really think only Vivek Ramaswamy is calling out exactly what's going on with Joe Biden. Ramaswamy is basically saying, and this is what I have said for a while, there's no point in really blaming Joe Biden for anything. I'm not even sure Joe Biden can order a cup of coffee in the morning. Okay, do we really think that Democrats are going to Joe Biden to say, hey, what should we do on this? No. Joe Biden is a useful dummy they're using him. They're directing all the conservatives to blame Biden for everything, when in reality, he has absolutely no idea what's going on. And it's like, this is how bad we're being gaslit. We're voting for Joe Biden. No, you're not voting for Joe Biden. He's not leading anything. He's not doing anything. He's not capable of doing anything. Okay, he's not debating any of the Democrats. Now that, it does make sense because he is the incumbent, but still, if this is a democracy, this is how ridiculous it is, guys. You've got these liberal people who get up and go grandstand January 6th. It's an attack on our democracy. If you really believe that, wouldn't you demand that Joe Biden at least participate in the primary debates? And now there's word that Trump won't do it either. I think that would be a terrible move for Trump. I hope Republican voters really come out against that. And listen, if the Republicans want to choose Trump, that's fine. You need to participate in the debates. That is non-negotiable. I know Trump is probably getting told by his advisors, listen, you have more to lose if you participate in the debates because you're up in the polls right now. But no, you need to participate in those. This is a democracy. You need to show voters why you should be the Republican person that they go with. I do think the first debate, if Trump doesn't participate, it'll be run by DeSantis and Ramaswamy for sure. Those two guys, I like both of those guys. Really young guys, really impressive. But overall, yes, Bernie Sanders, his overall point might be a little bit different than the modern Democrat because he's obsessed with socialism. But just in general, the Democrats' point is we don't want one single person to be more powerful than the government. We don't want another Elon Musk situation to where we had full control over everything, and now we lose that stranglehold with Twitter being completely freed. It's a big issue for Democrats, and that's one of the big reasons they don't want anyone that powerful, because money always brings power. I always say they hate billionaires because of how powerful they are. It has nothing to do with, the fact that they're a billionaire. It's because of the power that you get with that money to where you can go, not even blink, buy Twitter, and now you've just completely changed how Americans get information for the future. We've got the quickest path to becoming a high-value man. And now, guys, so this whole situation with alpha males and this whole thing, I definitely think there's some truth to it. I definitely think the feminist movement certainly has gone too far. The idea that you don't need a man in 95% of cases with women is ridiculous. Of course you need a man. It's just like, I also think men need women. We complement each other. But just like now it's going a little bit too far, it seems like. So you've got this person who's kind of an alpha male influencer, I'm guessing. These are his tips. Do not get married. Avoid family creation. Vasectomy in your 20s. Lift consistently. I agree with that. Eliminate all sedations. Learn game and networking. Play to your strengths. Build wealth. Resist easing up on your focus. So that actually, I don't think that's horribly bad, but I have seen things like on the YouTube clips and stuff like that, where you'll have these dudes who are like the alpha male guys, and they want to tell younger men, how do you get women? And I think there are points that they make when it comes to male-female interaction and what women actually want that are actually true. The issue is you've got these guys saying that, it's okay if I have 10 wives. Like, dude, what in the fuck are you talking about? You want to have 10 wives? Do you think that's going to be a good environment to have 10? And then it's like, you're not successful. Brother, I don't care if I'm worth $1 billion or $20,000. I am not having 12 fucking wives. What are you talking about? So that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, if you become a high-value man, if you have the means to do it, you should be able to, fuck as many women as possible. Like, what, dude? You need, in my opinion, if you do a study, your number one goal, if you create offspring, it should be to give that offspring the best chance for success. I don't think going around fucking 12 different women who have 12 different personalities that you have to deal with and having those women mother different children of yours is the correct way to go about it at all. Just because you want to be with different women, that shit's just ridiculous to me. So, that kind of turns me off a little bit. But no, I do agree with some of it, the whole idea of I mean, this feminism crap is ridiculous. The whole idea of men and women being equal, it's not that we're not equal, but we are different. An average man would beat up an average woman. That's just the reality. It's just like an average woman is probably more nurturing and more caring than an average man. I'm not saying men can't be nurturing and caring, but if you just base it off of that, it's like go out and look at, on garbage day, go look at the 100 garbage men in different cities. They're all going to be male, right? That's not a coincidence. That's just what males do. And then it's like, oh, women should make as much. It's really not that simple. There's a number of factors that go into how much each person makes. And then you have all these women. It's like, I think the number one issue with the feminist movement, it feels like they started, and other women did this, they started to shame women who were stay-at-home moms when it feels like women in their nature, that's the number one goal. If you have a child, you want to be able to grow up with that child and not send it to daycare while you go be this quote-unquote boss bitch. And then I kind of make a joke out of it. I feel like what do these women really think is going to happen if they go to the workforce? Like, honey, I'm sorry, just because you're in the workforce, you're not going to be Elon Musk, honey. You're not. You're going to work in a cubicle. You're going to complain about your male boss and how he's a, an alpha male and my pay should be higher. I'm a woman, so the reason I don't make more is, it's just like I don't understand what these women expect. They end up working in cubicles. They're miserable. Their child's at daycare. It just makes no sense to me. So the idea is you find a man, he needs to produce, he needs to provide for you, so you have the ability to stay home and mother the child. Listen, women can do whatever they want, but I do think there's been they've been shamed from being mothers, which is just the most ridiculous thing imaginable. That is one of the most important, pretty much the most important thing in life. When your child is that young, it is so important. So I think this is a very complicated, thing, but these guys go too far. It's like they want to fuck 15 different women. It's like, dude, have some self-control. All right? I know you're a millionaire. Oh my God. It's like people expect me to be impressed with these people. Dude, there's millionaires all over the place. I'm really not impressed with that. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I don't really give a shit. And it's like, oh, I can fuck all these women. Oh, congratulations, dude. Wow. What is it? Nick Cannon has 12 different, baby mamas or whatever. I just, that culture is so horrible. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and Seth Meyers' late night show shut down. So apparently there's some type of writer's strike going on at the late night show networks. And listen, all I can say about these, I think they got too political. It seemed like they would attack Trump. I'll admit I never watched these guys, so maybe they also attack Biden, but it does seem like things got too biased towards the left. I mean, what is Kimmel in LA? You've got Fallon in New York City. Colbert is just this wacko leftist at this point. It's like you're a comedian. One of your jobs is making fun of both sides. If you do it disproportionately, it's just going to come off as extremely cringy. And it seems like that's what happened with those guys. And also, to be fair to them, young people just don't watch TV. They just, if you have an apartment and you're a young person, you're not getting cable. There's no reason to get cable, and they need people you're watching them on cable, and it's just not happening. Among independents, Trump and Biden virtually comparable favorability ratings. So yes, it's very early, but if we get a Trump-Biden rematch, it is going to be a complete shit show. It's going to be a close, total mess. I mean, 2020 was very close. I know the narrative is that Biden got 7 million more votes. I think he won Wisconsin by a point. I think he won Wisconsin by 0.4, actually. Barely winning Michigan, barely winning Pennsylvania. But yeah, I just think, if you're a Republican, there's just such a major risk with Trump. Trump has not performed well in really any election. I mean, you could say he performed well in 2016. Hillary was such a terrible candidate, and he still lost the popular vote by 3 million. So I don't know. I just think, I mean, if Biden runs, if the Republicans do, if it's like a Biden versus DeSantis matchup, I think DeSantis destroys Biden. Right now, it's kind of tough for DeSantis because he's getting double teamed. You've got a lot of the Trump people going at DeSantis because, DeSantis is Trump's #1 threat in the Republican primaries. And then you also have the Democrats going after DeSantis because the Democrats feel very threatened by him. But of course, the Democrats also attack Trump, so that is what it is either way. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about with Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon also got fired. Well, apparently, I guess both of them got fired, but the whole situation, I think, with Don Lemon is actually different. So CNN has a massive problem, and I really don't know how they're going to solve it. Fox News, no matter who they put up, obviously Tucker Carlson's going to give you more views, but really, no matter who you put up, they're going to have a massive viewership base because that base demographically is so much older. CNN's average viewer, like the person that they're trying to reach, the person that shares CNN's views, it's like a 20-year-old college girl who's like a feminist. That's who they're trying to reach. And CNN understands that 20-year-old college girls, they don't have cable, right? So their ratings are really down. And I think it just got to the point where Don Lemon, though he is one of the bigger members of their network, they just couldn't afford paying him based off of the views he was getting. They were so low. And I think that's why Don Lemon got fired. It really wasn't anything he had to say. The Vivek Ramaswamy thing was hilarious, how he went on there, got into a debate with him, and then Lemon gets fired like the next day, and then Vivek comes out and says, he got him fired. I mean, that's awesome, and I certainly like Vivek, but, I think it was a situation where it just got to the point. It's like, listen, CNN's viewer base is so young, none of them have cable, their ratings suck, and we're paying Don Lemon like he's this huge star, and he's just not getting any of the ratings. It's not worth it at this point. So that's what I think probably happened there. But either way, guys, I just wanted to discuss some things. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.